On August 2nd, 2023, the Minecraft EULA was updated after 3 years. This update included multiple new rules, but the new guideline that has been causing chaos in the Anarchy community in the last 24 hours hides in one single sentence. Access to your server can't be limited to or controlled, directly or indirectly, by a player owning or having access to out-of-game content, products, or services. Before discussing that, the community is split between what this means for 2B2T and other Anarchy servers. We'll start if it does apply to the server. Since 2B2T has a priority queue system, this would mean that the server is limited to or controlled by a player, which would be Housemaster, that owns or have access to out-of-game content, which would be the priority queue. The server is limited since you have to wait hours just to get into the main server without buying priority queue. If this is the case, 2B2T would be non-EULA compliant and have to remove its priority queue system, meaning no more money for Housemaster, which could lead to the downfall of the server. But can 2B2T survive without a priority queue system? Well, let's look at what Housemaster could do. With no more priority queue, Housemaster has two options: donations and cosmetics. The EULA says you can make money by charging for access to your server by asking for donations, so long as you don't offer the donor something that only they can use. However, you may offer all players server-wide rewards if donation goals are met. Housemaster can bring back the donation goal website that was used years ago. However, we don't know how much the donation goal would have to be. It would be much more compared to post 2016 from all the new hardware and modifications to this server. If the donation goal is not met, Housemaster could resort to implementing cosmetics or in-game display and video advertising, since the EULA states selling cosmetics, except for capes or anything that attempts to visually act like the feature of a Minecraft player cape, and providing an in-game display and video advertising that doesn't hurt gameplay or give some players any competitive advantage. For cosmetics, Housemaster will have to pull something similar to another Anarchy server, 6B60. On 6B60, they have separate ranks that allow players to have highlighted name tags, perks outside the server, and a tab prefix. The more money you give to the server, the more cosmetics you get. But you could also argue that would ruin the Anarchy experience of the server. Would 2B2T be the same if players have ranks similar to Hypixel? This is a last resort for Housemaster. But I don't think this could end 2B2T, since a donation goal could be better for players instead of relying on a priority queue system. If Housemaster relied on donations, he would need to be involved with the community. He would need to keep players updated on the news and keep the server up to date. And if he doesn't, he will most likely lose donations over time. It would become a improve or die type situation. Ironically, by the time of this video, Housemaster has been a lot more active with updating the server to 1.19, so maybe this update to the EULA has something to do with it, but that's just speculation. But what if all of this doesn't apply to the server? Well, there have been some good counter arguments. The player who told me about the updated EULA, Forge, made a post on the 2B2T uncensored subreddit. He discusses the same thing I discussed, but the comments have been split. Some argue that since the EULA doesn't mention queue systems, they are not preventing that, but are preventing you from charging access to a server by buying something outside the game. Priority queue wouldn't be a limitation because it's not an access charge, as it's not required to play. Another counter-argument I saw was in the Mineplex Discord from one of the developers. He says the new EULA has nothing to do with the game queue. It just means you can't make someone buy your toy from the store to play on your server. Multiple Anarchy server owners have been panicking when they saw the new EULA. One of them, Stormsplurge, said these changes are no reason to panic. The EULA has always been overly aggressive but rarely enforced except for massive servers. When they banned the pay-to-win ranks in 2015, hardly anything changed, and only the largest servers like Mineplex, HiveMC, and Hypixel had to make noticeable changes. In any case, this new EULA has caused a lot of confusion for everyone. Outside of Anarchy servers, the new EULA will cause more chaos, as plenty of new rules have caused outrage. There are theories that 2B2T has been reported and investigated in the past, which could be why there have been mutes and bans, and leading Mojang to target 2B2T's priority queue system. And I doubt that this new EULA will be the last update. For the past 3 months, I've been working on a video about the rise and fall of Minecraft Java servers, which will be over 40 minutes long. I'll include the new rules in that video, which should be out in a few weeks. If you want updates on that, join my Discord server in the description and tell me in the comments, what do you guys think about all of this? Do you think this is the end of 2B2T?